Hi, my name is Dylan.
Hi, my name is Bastian.
In our research assignment, we will be looking at the similarities and differences of the code of ethics of three different professions.
The Code of Ethics of Professional Accountants will be a primary source of comparison. We will look into the Code of Ethics of Professional Lawyers and Pilots.
Duties to the public and the industry. This code of ethics states that pilots should feel that the industry, which provides them with a livelihood, has a real claim upon their ability and time, which claim must be held above selfish personal considerations. They should encourage the public in every way to make sincere use of aircraft, and should aid in any practical, sincere project that has this end view. It is their duty to combat any and all forces which might tend to discourage or discredit the sincere use of an aircraft. This code of ethics further explains how pilots should endorse and obey the spirit and letters of laws pertaining to aviation, and how a professional pilot should never lower his standards of safe flying because of having no passengers on board. Duties to the public and the industry. This code of ethics has similarities with the principles of integrity and professional behavior. Although we have different wordings and descriptions, the overall essence of the code is somewhat similar. It aims to direct members to be straightforward and honest, and also implies fair dealing and truthfulness. Both industries show key focus on protecting the overall image and displaying a trustworthy image to the public. Duties to employers and operators. This code of ethics states planes should be flown as their owners or operators prescribe. The pilot who, without the knowledge or consent of his employer, indulges in acrobatics deviating from his course or any uneconomical or hazardous flying is guilty of unethical and dishonest conduct. There is a good similarity with the principle of professional behavior. To a pilot, this applies to his or her flying and how they should not indulge in unethical or dangerous behavior. But for an accountant, we have this under Section 150, Professional Behavior, where members must comply with relevant laws and regulations and avoid any action or omission that a member knows or should know may discredit the profession. The third code of ethics, an airline pilot will keep uppermost in his mind that the safety, comfort, and well-being of the passengers who entrust their lives to him are his first and greatest responsibility. It also states that he will never permit external pressures or personal desires to influence his judgment, nor will he knowingly do anything that could jeopardize flight safety. This particular code of ethics has great similarities with the principle of objectivity, where it states that bias, conflict of interest, or undue influence of others should not be allowed to override professional or business judgments. An airline pilot will accept the responsibilities as well as the rewards of command and will at all times so conduct himself both on duty and off as to instill and merit the confidence and respect of his crew, his fellow employees, and his associates within the profession. It further states that airline pilot should continue to undergo training when required to keep his or her skills updated. The principle of professional behavior, professional competence, and due care plays a role in this code of ethics, where the airline pilot should understand his duties and take care of crew under his command. We see this in the accounting profession as well, where accountants should accept responsibilities and be aware of the consequences their advice can weigh on their clients. Accountants, just like pilots, need to maintain their professional knowledge and skill at a level required to ensure that clients or employers receive competent professional service. An airline pilot believes the honor of his profession is dear and he will remember that his own character and conduct reflect honor or dishonor upon the profession. Integrity and professional behavior are two principles that have similarities with this code of ethics. The principle of integrity imposes an obligation on all members to be straightforward and honest in all professional and business relationships. Integrity also implies fair dealings and truthfulness, which is very important for the profession as a whole. Confidentiality was one of the principles that had no resemblance in any of the code of ethics for pilots.
Under the Code of Ethics for Lawyers, they seek to maintain the highest standards of integrity, honesty, and fairness in all their dealings. This is similar to principle of integrity in Code of Ethics for Accountants, where they impose an obligation on all members to be straightforward and honest in all professional and business relationships. Integrity also implies fair dealing and truthfulness. Under the code, lawyers avoid any conflict of interest and duties. The principle of objectivity in Code of Ethics for Accountants imposes an obligation on all members not to compromise their professional and business judgment because of bias, conflicts of interest, or the undue influence of others. Under the code, accountants have to maintain professional knowledge and skills at the level required to ensure the clients or their employers receives competent professional activity, and to act diligently in accordance with applicable technical and professional standards when providing professional activities. In similar way, the code for lawyers indicates that they should act competently and diligently in the service of their clients. Both the professions give high value for confidentiality for the service and information they share with their clients. However, accountants place the public interest over their clients in certain circumstances, like disclosure is permitted by law and is authorized by the client or employer, or disclosures is required by law. Members are or may be required to disclose confidential information. This is purely for public interest. This is Christina Witt explaining how the tax lawyer is different from an accountant when it comes to the confidentiality.
When you meet with your tax lawyer to discuss your case, all of your communications will remain confidential. This is because there is attorney-client privilege for all communications between an attorney and their client. Many of my clients don't realize prior to meeting with me that there's no CPA client privilege, no accountant client privilege, and if your matter proceeds to court, any communication you had with your accountant is subject to full disclosure.
So it is clear, unlike lawyers, accountants are ethically bound to disclose any matters that affect the majority. However, a member considering disclosing confidential information about a client or employer without their consent is strongly advised to first obtain legal advice.